cross-country teams do well at early season Birch Run Invitational. Senior Jake Hall led the Eagles with a 6th place finish out of 161 runners with a time of 17:49. Sophomore Josh Fitch placed 42nd with a time of 20.0 and will be one of our lead runners this year. Shane Gutkowski is a freshman and already has a great work ethic and attitude, and his 70th place finish with a 21:29 time is just the beginning for him. Sophomore Jeremy Wilson finished 79th with a 21:56. Junior Andrew Palmrider rounded out our scoring runners with an 83rd place 22:07. Senior Bobby Steele finished with a 24:46 and is several minutes faster at this time of the year than he was last season. It's a problem trying to get guys that can now keep up with Bobby, but it's a nice problem to have. Freshman Ethan Holland is new to running, and his 30:29 time was already a minute faster than his benchmark time set 2 weeks earlier. The girls' cross-country team placed second out of 13 teams at their first 5K meet of the season at the early season Birch Run Invitational. The Lady Eagles were led by junior Emily Siebert, who set a PR of 21:39, placing 4th overall out of 137 runners. Junior Carly Hammond finished right behind Emily with a 21:53 time and placing 6th overall. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett finished in 20th place with a time of 24:08 and 3rd on the team. Junior Jenna Motzke finished 27th overall with a 24:30. Finishing off our scoring runners as first-time runner and senior Abby Merlick. Abby finished 29th overall with a time of 24:35, which is just 5 seconds shy of her 2012 goal. Junior Maria Martush finished in 34th place with a time of 24:51, and another nice surprise was freshman Mackenzie Walter, who finished 39th overall, 7th on the team, and ran a 25:01. We have several returning runners from last year. Sophomores Ashley Geiger and Kirsten Meyer-Huber. Juniors Melissa Oldman, Abby Wiles, Kaylin Knoll, Kirsty Biddle, and Becca Barger. There are several brand new runners making their cross-country debut at this meet. Senior Rachel Williams, Junior Faith Maurer, Freshman Abby Sampson, Kylie Ostrowski, and Maya Kern. Senior Lauren Peterson was not at the meet. Meet number 2 of the 2012 season finds us at Ovid Elsie High School for the Marauder Cross Country Invitational. The boys ran first and placed 10th out of the 17 teams that ran today. Senior Jake Hall finished 7th overall out of 150 boys and first for the Eagles with a 17:58.1. Sophomore Josh Fitch placed 2nd on the team and 57th in the race with a 20:25.1. Freshman Shane Gutkowski placed 69th overall and 3rd on the boys' team with a PR time of 20:51.7. Other Eagles setting personal marks today were first-timer Alex Leach with a time of 25:54.0 and Andrew Palmrider with a season best time of 22:06.7. The Lady Eagles ended up in 4th place for the meet behind first place Bath with a 57, Perry with an 85, Corunna with a 115, and Frankenmuth with a 133. Carly Hammond led the team today, coming in 8th place out of the 161 girls with a season best 21:51.4. Emily Siebert placed 18th overall and 2nd for the team with a 22:29.7. Emily left it all on the race course and needed medical attention after the race, but was back at practice with a smile on her face the next day. Jenna Matsky was 34th overall with a season best time of 23:39. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett was 38th and set a PR of 23:59. Abby Merlick was 49th overall and occupied the 5th scoring spot for the Lady Eagles today. Mackenzie Walter was 50th overall and set a PR of 24:46.2. Maria Martush was 52nd overall, running a season best time of 24:46.4. Other girls that set PRs or ran season best include Abby Sampson, a PR of 25:57. Rebecca Barger, a season best with 26:26. Faith Maurer set a PR with a time of 27:38. Kirsty Biddle set her season best time of 25:54. Kayla Knoll knocked a whopping 1.5 minutes off her season best time, clocking at 26:03. Kirsten Meyer-Huber set a PR with a time of 25:41.0. Kylie Ostrowski is another freshman that set a PR with a time of 26:04. First-time cross-country runner senior Lauren Peterson set a PR of 25:31.0. Finally, Melissa Oldgren set a season best time of 25:44. The weather was overcast in the high 70s as the Frankenmuth cross-country teams traveled to Bath, Michigan for the Brent Clement Bath Invitational. The boys ran first and placed an overall 17th place of the 18 Division III and IV teams that day. Senior Jake Hall led the boys team with a 49th place combined overall finish out of 566 runners and a season best time of 17:27. Freshman Shane Gutkowski set another PR with a time of 20:22. Junior Andrew Palmrider set a season best time of 20:47. Alex Leach just joined the team and set a PR of 23:20. Senior Bobby Steele with his volunteer guide Randy Wiles just missed setting his PR. Bobby ran a 23:41. Freshman Ethan Holland hit a milestone as he broke the 30-minute barrier with a 29:31. Junior Carly Hammond led the Lady Eagles with a season best time of 21:15, placing her 66th out of a combined field of 525 runners. Emily Sievert was right behind Carly with a 68th place time of 21:16, achieving a PR on the way. Junior Jenna Matsky ran a season best time of 23:17, followed closely by Junior Maria Martush, who finished with a season best time of 23:25. Senior and first-year runner Lauren Peterson shaved off minutes from her previous best time as she finished with a PR of 23:51. Abby Merlick is another first-time senior runner and set a PR with a time of 23:56. Freshman Mackenzie Walter tied Melissa Oldgren's time of 24:042, also setting her PR. Junior Melissa Oldgren led the JV girls with a season best time of 24:042. Freshman Abby Sampson set a PR with a time of 24:24. And Kylie Ostrowski, also a freshman runner, set a PR time of 24:31. Sophomore Ashley Geiger set a PR with a 24:35. Junior Becca Barger set a PR with a 25:07. And sophomore Kirsten Meyerhuber set a PR of 25:11. Junior Kayla Knoll ran great with a season best of 25:40. The headline reads, Girls 3rd, Boys 4th in First TVC East Jamboree Cross Country Meet, hosted by Caro. The boys were led by senior Jake Hall. Jake easily won the meet with a first place time of 17:25, his season best. Sophomore Josh Fitch came in second for the Eagles, placing 14th with a time of 20:32, followed close behind by freshman runner Shane Kutkowski, who finished 15th with a time of 20:42. Junior Andrew Palmreiter was 16th with a time of 20:54. Sophomore and first-time runner Jeremy Wilson ran a tough race today, setting his PR of 21:46. Freshman Alex Leach joined the team after the season was underway and ran a 23:35. Senior Bobby Steele finished what was a very tough course through the woods for him with a 27:14. Finally, freshman Ethan Holland hung in the race and finished with a time of 32:26. The Lady Eagles captured third place, just 2 points behind second place Garber and first place Caro in the first of 3 TVC East Jamboree Cross Country meets. Junior Carly Hammond led the Eagles with a third place overall finish with a time of 21:18. It was the first time Carly had finished in front of the entire Caro girls team, and even more special, doing it on their home turf. Junior Emily Sievert placed 5th with a time of 21:34 in front of all but one of the Caro team. Junior Maria Martush finished 17th with a time of 23:38, followed closely by freshman Mackenzie Walter, who finished in 18th place with a time of 23:53. Junior Jenna Motsky closed out the scoring places for the Lady Eagles with a 21st place and 24:05 time. Rounding out the Lady Eagle field was freshman Elizabeth Barrett, who finished 22nd, right behind Jenna with a time of 24:08. Senior Abby Merlick finished in 23rd spot with a time of 24:16. Freshman Abby Sampson finished 28th with a time of 24:43. Senior Lauren Peterson finished in 29th spot with a time of 24:50. Junior Rebecca Barger finished with a time of 25:34, followed by freshman Kylie Ostrowski with a time of 25:39. Kayla Knoll finished with a 25:43. Kirsty Biddle, 25:44. Kirsten Meyerhuber, 26 even. Melissa Oldgren, 26:09. Ashley Geiger, 26:23. Rachel Williams, 26:57. And freshman Maya Kern setting a PR for herself with a time of 27:11. All in all, a very good day for the Lady Eagles. Over 160 high schools and 8 collegiate conferences, including the Big Ten, MAC, GLIAC, and 5 more, competed at this year's Spartan Invitational. All in all, an incredible day of running excellence. Finishing first for the Frankenmuth boys was senior Jake Hall. Jake led the boys with his 35th place finish out of 208. Jake ran a time of 17:50 and just missed placing for a medal. Sophomore Josh Fitch ran a season best of 19:18, just 8 seconds from his personal best. Freshman Shane Kutkowski ran yet another PR of 20:18. Junior Andrew Palmreiter ran a 21:37, followed by sophomore Jeremy Wilson, who ran a 22:45. Freshman Alex Leach was just off his personal best with a 23:22. Senior Bobby Steele was guided by alumni Pat Fromm, who took a time out from his studies at MSU to come out and run with Bobby. Bobby just missed his personal record by 4 seconds, but ran his best time of the season with a 23:38 clocking. Freshman Ethan Holland ran in the JV race with 260 other runners. When the gun went off to start the race, Ethan bolted out to the lead, then settled back into his pace and finished with a PR time of 29:04. The Lady Eagles fared pretty well in the 33-team division that they competed in. The ladies finished 16th overall, and most of the girls achieved either a PR or a season best time. Carly Hammond led the Lady Eagles, placing 33rd overall out of 226, just missing the top 30 that earned medals. Carly ran a season best time of 20:54. Emily Siebert finished 35th, also just out of medal range with a time of 21:02, which was good enough for a PR. Freshman Mackenzie Walter earned another PR with a 99th place 22:43. Mackenzie has set a personal best in every race so far this season. Maria Martus ran her best time of the season with a 109th place finish of 22:52. Jenna Maskey finished in 135th with a season best time of 23:13. Lauren Peterson ran a PR time of 23:46. First-year runner and senior Abby Merlick ran a PR with a time of 23:48. The girls' junior varsity race was scored by one of the dads, and our girls finished 6th out of the 21 teams that scored. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett led the JV team with a 28th place finish out of 282 runners with a PR of 23:21. Melissa Oldgren ran to a season best time of 23:40, placing 41st. Junior Kirsty Biddle was 48th overall and ran a season best time of 23:51, knocking almost 2 full minutes off her previous season best time. Freshman Abby Sampson set a PR with a time of 24:07, continuing to set PRs in every meet. Junior Becca Barger set a PR today with a time of 24:16. Freshman Kylie Ostrowski also seems to be in the business of setting PRs whenever she runs a meet. Kylie ran a PR of 24:27. Sophomore runner Ashley Geiger ran a 24:44. Junior Kayla Knoll ran her season best time today with a 25:26. Sophomore Kirsten Meyerhuber ran a 25:56. Freshman Maya Kern shaved off another minute off her PR with a 26:15. Senior Rachel Williams finished with a 26:58. Successful Frankenmuth Invitational marred by timer malfunction. Sophomore Josh Fitch led the Eagles with a 30th place, 19:40, running a tough race with a very sore back. Freshman Shane Kutkowski, 36th place overall, ran a great race even after being tripped in the last 500 meters of the race. Shane managed to PR with a 20:05, getting closer to that 20-minute barrier. Andrew Palmreiter came in 23rd with a 20:12. Jeremy Wilson finished 48th for the boys with a PR time of 21:18. Freshman Alex Leach also ran a PR with a time of 23 flat. Senior Bobby Steele's 23:38 finished in 73rd place, followed by freshman Ethan Hollins, 31:27, who stepped into the varsity race today as one of the top 7 runners. The Lady Eagles captured runner-up honors at their home cross-country invitational on Thursday, just 4 points behind winner Birch Run. Team scores were Birch Run 47, Frankenmuth 51, Nouvelle 82, Breland 109, Michigan Lutheran Seminary 138, Saginaw Arts and Science Academy 165, New Lothrop 186, Valley Lutheran 188, and Kearsley 188. Junior Carly Hammond led the Lady Eagles with a second-place finish and a 21:06. Junior Emily Siebert also ran a strong race, finishing in 4th place with a time of 21:24. Finishing 3rd for the team was junior Maria Martus, taking 12th place with a time of 23:06. Freshman Mackenzie Walter, who placed 14th with a time of 23:12. Rounding off our scoring runners was freshman Elizabeth Barrett, who ran her second fastest time with a strong race, placing 23rd with a time of 23:52. Melissa Oldgren finished 26th with a time of 23:58. Abby Merlick ran a tough race as she was not feeling well, but stuck it out, taking 33rd with a time of 24:29. The JV team did very well, finishing 6 runners in the top 10. Kirsty Biddle, Kylie Ostrowski, Ashley Geiger, and Becca Barger finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th with times of 24:11, 24:32, 25:03, and 25:25. Rounding off the JV runners was Kirsten Meyerhuber, who clocked a 26:03 and finished 7th, followed by Kayla Knoll, who finished 8th with a time of 26:06. Headline: Records fall as boys and girls cross-country teams compete in 2nd TVC East Jamboree meet. The boys and girls cross-country teams each placed 4th in Tuesday's TVC East Jamboree meet held at Delta College. Senior Jake Hall ran a great race today as he set his PR, capturing 1st place overall with a 16:47 time. Jake's time moved him into the 9th all-time fastest cross-country time in Frankenmuth's history, moving Cody Snyder and Kenny Martin down to 10th spot with a 16:49. Sophomore Josh Fitch ran into the 16th place finish with a time of 19:40. Freshman Shane Kutkowski is looking great as he broke the 20-minute barrier, clocking a 19th place time of 19:45. Junior Andrew Palmreiter ran a season best time of 20:12. Sophomore Jeremy Wilson placed 28th with a time of 21:57, followed by Bobby Steele, who finished 26th with a time of 23:38. Freshman Ethan Holland was directed down the wrong path prior to the 2-mile mark, and had to turn around to get back on track. This added at least 2 minutes to his time, which would have placed him close to his personal best. The Lady Eagles were led by junior Carly Hammond, who placed third overall with season best time of 2011. Junior Emily Sievert was right behind Carly, placing fourth with a personal record time of 2024. This time was good enough to place Emily into the record board containing the top 10 times in the history of Frankenmuth cross country. Emily moved into the 9th spot, moving Jennifer Dale, 2026, down to the 10th spot and displacing both Erica Brown, 2039, and Tara Palmreiter, 2039 on the board. Freshman Mackenzie Walter really stepped up today and placed 10th overall with a personal record time of 21:46. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett placed 22nd overall and set a PR with a 22:49 clocking. Senior Abby Merlick ran a gutsy race as she was having a hard time breathing after the second mile. Abby held on, placing 23rd and setting a PR of 23:07. Another freshman, Abby Sampson, placed 27th and set a PR of 23:36. Junior Kirsty Biddle set a season best time of 23:40 as she placed 28th. Senior Lauren Peterson set a personal record with 23:42. Other finishers for the Lady Eagles included Maria Martush, 34th with a 24:25. Ashley Geiger, 35th with a 24:25 and was a PR. Kylie Ostrovsky, 36th with a 24:27, ties her PR. Kayla Knoll, 40th with a 24:49, a season best. Becca Barger, 41st with a 24:57. Kirsten Meyerhuber, 43rd with a 25:05, which is a PR. Melissa Oldgren, 50th with a 26:08. And Rachel Williams, 52nd with a 26:36, her second fastest time of the year, as Rachel runs a tough race as she deals with some injuries. Our cross-country teams enjoyed a successful outing at the Birch Run Fall Invitational. The boys, though finishing 9th overall out of 12 teams, enjoyed some excellent performances at Birch Run this time around. Senior Jake Hall led the Eagles with a 4th place finishing time of 16:56 out of 121 runners, his second best time this season. Sophomore Josh Fitch is closing in on that 18-minute mark as he set a PR time of 19 flat, good for his 36th place. Freshman Shane Gutkowski has set yet another PR, making this his 7th of the season. Shane placed 43rd with a time of 19:35. Sophomore Jeremy Wilson set another PR with a time of 20:34. Senior Bobby Steele had a great race today, finishing with a new PR time of 22:48, almost a minute faster than his previous mark. Bobby was assisted by guides Randy Wiles, who ran the first 2 miles, and Jeff Fromm, who ran the remaining 1.1 miles. Freshman Ethan Holland ran a 29:20, which was his second best time so far. The girls' cross-country team captured the runner-up trophy out of 11 teams and 130-plus runners at Birch Run. The order of placement was Cadillac, 36, Frankenmuth, 62, Birch Run, 79, Nouvelle, 120, Clio, 159, Michigan Lutheran Seminary, 171, Chesaning, 219, Valley Lutheran, 232, St. Charles, 238, Saginaw Arts and Science Academy, 249, and Lapeer West, 270. An impressive second-place finish to Cadillac. Emily Sievert finished in 3rd place, beating teammate Carly Hammond by 0.3 of a second at the tape and set a PR of 20:18, moving her up the all-time cross-country record board from 9th position to a tie for 7th with Lindsay Bender. Carly Hammond finished in 4th position, also with a time of 20:18, just a step behind Emily. Freshman Mackenzie Walter finished in 13th position with a time of 21:47. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett earned a PR today with a 20th place, 21:54. Junior Maria Martush is improving as her conditioning is now kicking in. Maria was injured over the summer and could not run. She ran a great race today and placed in front of Birch Run girls that beat her the last time. Maria finished in 27th position with a season best time of 22:11. Seniors and first-year runners, Lauren Peterson and Abby Merlick, finished 36th and 37th, with times of 23:06, which was a PR for Lauren, and a 23:12 for Abby, 5 seconds from her best. Melissa Oldgren finished in 39th place with a season best time of 23:16, just 19 seconds off her career best. Freshman Abby Sampson placed 45th, just ahead of junior Becca Barger, who finished 46th with a PR time of 23:47, over 30 seconds better than her previous PR. Freshman Kylie Ostrovsky set a PR by 40 seconds with a 47th place 23:47. Kylie, Elizabeth, Mackenzie, Abby, and Maya dubbed themselves the Fab Five after the race. Junior Kirsty Biddle placed 50th with a time of 23:56. Sophomore Ashley Geiger ran to a PR of 24:04, placing 53rd. Junior Jenna Matsky is coming off 2 weeks downtime because of an injury, with her 56th place 24:25 time. Junior Abby Wiles came back after being out for several weeks with an injury and finished in 67th place for a season best time of 25:03. Junior Kayla Knoll ran one of her best times of the season with a 68th place 25:05. Sophomore Kirsten Meyerhuber finished 77th with a time of 25:40. And senior first-time runner Rachel Williams, who is also dealing with injuries, ran her second fastest time of the season with a 26:17 clocking. The boys and girls cross-country teams traveled to Portage to compete in the largest cross-country invitational in the state. Even though this meet is so far away, we participate because the overall experience helps get the teams mentally prepared for the environment of large races like the upcoming regionals and states, which can be overwhelming without that experience. 4 of our guys ran their best times ever and 1 ran to his season best. Senior Jake Hall has been sick for the last 2 weeks and it finally caught up with him. Jake still finished in the top position of the team with a 110th place finish out of 258 runners. Sophomore Josh Fitch set a PR by breaking into the 18-minute range as he finished in 155th place with a time of 18:51. Freshman Shane Gutkowski set yet another PR, his 8th, with a 186th place 19:16. Junior Andrew Paulreiter ran a season best time of 19:37, finishing in 198th place. Sophomore Jeremy Wilson finished in 234th place with a strong time of 20:56. Senior Bobby Steele was guided by Frankenmuth High School graduate and MSU freshman Pat Fromm. Pat helped guide Bobby to a PR time of 22:35. Freshman Ethan Holland ran in the junior varsity race and finished 234th place with a PR time of 28:14. The girls' varsity runners finished without junior runner Emily Sievert, who tripped at some point after the second mile mark and could not finish the race. Emily was running at a PR pace through the 2-mile mark. Junior Carly Hammond was a medal winner, finishing in 40th place out of 234 runners with a time of 20:18, her second fastest time of the season. Freshman Mackenzie Walter finished second on our team in 101st place overall with a time of 21:53. Junior Maria Martush was 110th place with a season best time of 22:09. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett was just behind Maria today in 111th place with a time of 22:10. Seniors Abby Merlick and Lauren Peterson are running very well for first-year runners. Abby set a PR by placing 145th with a time of 22:57. Lauren rounded out our varsity runners with a 156th place finish and a time of 23:21, her second best time ever. Junior Jenna Maskey led our girl JV runners with her medal-winning performance of 24th place out of 216 JV runners. Freshman Kylie Ostrovsky finished in 42nd place, just missing a medal by 2 seconds with a PR time of 23:14, almost 30 seconds better than her previous best. Junior Kirsty Biddle placed 44th, the season best time of 23:22. Freshman Abby Sampson tied her PR as she placed 51st with a time of 23:36. Coming in 64th and 66th were Marissa Oldgren and Abby Wiles with times of 24:12 and 24:15. Sophomore Ashley Geiger finished in the top half in 91st place with a time of 25:11. Junior Becca Barger finished in 101st place with a time of 25:36. Sophomore Kirsten Meyerhuber finished in 113th place with a time of 26:19. Senior Rachel Williams has been running through a lot of discomfort but still managed to finish in 150th place with a 26:35. The headline is, girls and boys both 4th in final TVC East Jamboree cross-country standings at North Branch. For the boys, Jake Hall took top honors in the TVC East as he won the first and second Jamborees and placed second in today's meet behind top runner Ben Yagela from Garber. Sophomore Josh Fitch was 16th, freshman Shane Gutkowski 20th, and Andrew Paulreiter 23rd led the way for the boys. Rounding off the boys' scoring positions were Jeremy Wilson at 28th and Bobby Steele 36th. For the Lady Eagles, juniors Carly Hammond and Emily Sievert earned first-team All-TVC East honors, as freshman Mackenzie Walters earned honorable mention All-TVC East. These are well-deserved honors, and the girls should be proud of their accomplishments in the TVC East this season. Emily was coming off an injury suffered at the previous meet and could not run, but finished high enough in the previous 2 TVC East Jamboree meets to hold her first-team placement. Placing in the top 5 scoring positions were Carly Hammond, 3rd, Emily Sievert, 4th, Mackenzie Walter, 12th, Elizabeth Barrett, 23rd, and Abby Merlick, 24th. Along with our fun tradition of tailgating at the annual Reese Invitational, the tradition of nasty, ugly weather continued unabated at this year's meet. It was cold, rainy, and windy, and that set the tone for the poorly conducted meet. Jake Hall led the way for the boys, taking 6th place overall with a time of 17:19. Josh Fitch finished in 26th place with a time of 19:06, his second fastest of the season. followed by Andrew Palmreiter, who finished in 30th place with a time of 20:14. Freshman Alex Leach had a good day, despite the cold, wet conditions, as he set a personal record with a time of 22:35. Rounding off the places for the boys were Bobby Steele, 33rd with a time of 23:06. Jeremy Wilson in 34th, despite missing a turn and running extra mileage. Ethan Holland was 61st place in the JV meet with a time of 29:24. For the girls, Carly Hammond and Emily Sievert led the way with 7th and 8th place finishes and times of 20:50 and 20:52. Freshman Mackenzie Walter had a very nice race, setting a PR with a 14th place 21:40 time. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett finished 18th with a time of 22:44, followed by Maria Martouche in 20th place with a time of 22:48. Rounding off the varsity squad are Jenna Maskey with a 21st place time of 22:53 and Abby Merlick with a 22nd place time of 23:30. The JV squad was led by Kirsty Biddle, who set a season best time of 23:10 and placed 7th overall in the JV race. Melissa Olgren placed 11th with a 23:49. Kylie Ostrovsky was 12th with a 23:49. Abby Sampson was 15th with a 24:05. Abby Wiles in 19th with a 24:28. Ashley Geiger in 23rd with a 25:10. Kayla Noel 27th with a 25:48. Lauren Peterson in 28th with a 26:16. Becca Barger 29th with a 26:16. Kirsten Meyerhuber 31st with a 26:52. And Rachel Williams 33rd with a 27:34. Isaac Biddle represented our middle school runners with an 18th place finishing time of 13:05 for the 2-mile course. Headlines: Lady Eagles cross country team 6th at overall TVC meet. For the boys, Jake Hall once again led with an all-conference second team finish of 20th place out of 123 with a time of 17:36. Sophomore Josh Fitch placed 71st with a time of 19:13, followed by junior Andrew Palmreiter in 99th with a time of 20:35. Sophomore Jeremy Wilson placed 109th with a time of 21:36, followed by freshman Alex Leach in 115th with a time of 23:26. Senior Bobby Steele rounded off the varsity squad with a 121st place finishing time of 25:08. Freshman Ethan Holland ran a very strong junior varsity race, setting his PR time of 27:47. The Lady Eagles cross-country team tied for 6th place out of 20 teams at the TVC Overall Cross-Country Meet hosted by Alma, while the Caro girls were the overall winner of the meet. Junior Carly Hammond led the Lady Eagles with a 14th place finish out of 131 runners with a time of 20:52. Carly earned second-team all-conference with her performance. Junior Emily Sievert followed close behind with a 17th place finishing time of 21:07, also earning her a spot on the second-team all-conference team. Freshman Mackenzie Walter finished 39th with a time of 22:07, followed by freshman Elizabeth Barrett finishing 47th with a time of 22:25. Junior Maria Martouche wrapped up the scoring runners with her 57th place with a time of 22:51. Rounding off the varsity squad was junior Jenna Maskey with an 85th place finishing time of 24:03, followed by junior Kirsty Biddle placing 89th with a time of 24:20. In the JV race, junior Melissa Olgren led the way as she ran her best time of the season as she finished in 6th place out of 77 with a time of 23:02. First-year runner and senior Abby Merlick finished in 12th with a time of 23:35. Abby won't be able to attend the regional meet because of ACT testing, but has really been impressive as a first-year runner as she ran on the varsity team most of the season and has made steady improvements all the time. Freshman Abby Sampson was 13th with a 23:39. Freshman Kylie Ostrovsky 18th with a 24:06. Junior Abby Wiles finished in 20th place with a time of 24:15. Senior Lauren Peterson 25th with a 24:27. Junior Becca Barger was 27th with a 24:40. Sophomore Ashley Geiger was 30th with a 24:48. Junior Kayla Noel 36th with a 25:20. Sophomore Kirsten Meyerhuber 50th with a 27:12. And senior Rachel Williams 53rd with a 27:45. This headline reads, Eagles cross-country teams compete in 2012 Saginaw County Championships. This year's Saginaw County cross-country meet was held at Hemlock High School. The great thing about the county meet is that all the teams compete head-to-head regardless of what division the schools are. This would be the season's last meet for the JV runners. Running first as they have all season, the boys cross-country team ran without senior Jake Hall, who was out because of an illness. Josh Fitch led the team today with a 29th place 19:21 clocking, Andrew Paulreiter followed up with a 50th place 2023. Jeremy Wilson finished in 63rd with a 21:33. Freshman Shane Gutowski ran injured, placing 67th with a time of 21:55. Alex Leach ran with a 71st place 23:10 clocking, followed by Bobby Steele with a 76th place 24:15. Ethan Holland ran on the JV squad and did a great job for himself by clocking a 27:39, which was a new PR for him. This was a great way for Ethan to close out his season. The girls' cross-country team looked strong as they captured the second-place trophy behind Heritage High School. Emily Siebert captured 4th place overall with a 20:50 clocking, followed by Carly Hammond in 6th place with a 21:17 time. Both Emily and Carly earned first-team All-County honors with their top 7 performances. Mackenzie Walter finished 9th with a time of 21:54 and earned herself a place on the second-team All-County team as a freshman. Freshman Elizabeth Barrett also earned a third-team All-County spot with their 16th place 21:59 finish. Rounding off the scoring positions, Jenna Matsky finished 25th with a time of 22:35. Maria Martush 35th with a 23:07, and Kirsty Biddle 52nd with a 24:17. The varsity girls ran very well against the 12-team field and earned their second-place finish. The JV team looked very good today, and if the JV meet were to be scored, Frankenmuth would be the victors. We had 8 girls in the top 13, and that is saying a lot for our depth. Melissa Oldgren is coming on strong at the end of the season and led the way with a 4th place finishing time of 23:44. Abby Sampson finished right behind with a 5th place 23:46. Kylie Ostrowski, Abby Merlick, and Abby Wiles finished 7th, 8th, and 9th respectively, with Abby Wiles running a season best time. The girls clocked a 23:47, 23:52, and a 24 flat. Becca Barger, Kayla Nolan, and Ashley Geiger finished 11th, 12th, and 13th with times of 24:51, 25:17, and 25:24. Kirsten Meyer-Huber and Rachel Williams rounded off the JV squad with 23rd, 27:18, and 29th, 29:27 place and times. The boys and girls cross-country teams traveled to Harbor Beach to compete in the Division III regionals. The top 3 teams in the boys and the girls will qualify for state finals at Michigan International Speedway, and the top 15 individual runners qualify for the state finals as well. The boys ran without their senior leader, Jake Hall, who has been battling an illness for the last part of the season, and it finally got the best of him. Jake has had a great season, getting on the record board in 9th position with a 16:47 and winning several meets and honors this season. Freshman Shane Gutowski was out from the regional race with a leg injury as well, but came to the meet to cheer on his fellow teammates. Sophomore Josh Fitch really put a nice race together today as he slashed off 38 seconds from his previous PR and clocked an 18:13. Josh finished in 33rd place overall. Looking for Josh after the race, we found him wading out into Lake Huron to take a nice little ice bath. I suppose it was his way of cooling down after setting a PR. Sophomore Jeremy Wilson set a PR of 2014, which is 20 seconds better than his previous best. Freshman Alex Leach surprised himself today as he cut a huge minute 39 second off his previous PR and clocked a 20:56. Junior Andrew Paulreiter finished a good season with a time of 20:35, running on very sore shins. Finally, senior runner Bobby Steele ran his last cross-country race of his high school career. Though he missed his goal of a personal record by 12 seconds, he left a lasting impression on everyone that had the opportunity to watch him run. Runners, coaches, and parents from other teams all cheer his name as he passes them. We are very thankful for Bobby's guides this year and for Jeff Fromm and Randy Wiles, who were his meet guides for most of the races this season. The top 15 individual runners qualified for the state finals, and juniors Carly Hammond and Emily Siebert finished 13th and 14th respectively. Both Carly and Emily ran a 20:06 time, with Carly edging Emily at the line by 0.24 seconds. Emily really had a nice finishing kick as she was battling with 3 other runners for that top 15th spot. This was Carly's best time of the season and a PR for Emily. Emily moved from a tie for 7th on the all-time cross-country record board to 6th position, passing Lindsay Bender, 2018 and 2005, and Julie Thomas, 2014 and 1988. Carly is currently in 5th position on the record board with a 20.7 time, which she ran at 2011 regionals. The ladies finished in 6th position out of 12 teams, with the strongest regional field maybe ever, which saw the first 11 finishers earn times under 20 minutes. Freshman Mackenzie Walter finished in a very strong 22nd place, knocking off 50 seconds from her previous PR with a 20:50 clocking. She is only 24 seconds from the top 10 all-time record board. Junior Melissa Oldgren recorded a 22:31, clipping off 26 seconds from her previous PR. Junior Jenna Matsky also improved on her season best time with a 21:51. Last year, Jenna voluntarily gave up her spot on the regional team because she was sick for 1 to 2 weeks prior and felt someone else could help the team better than she could. Junior Maria Martus clocked a 22:17 today, just 8 seconds shy of her season best. Rounding out her varsity runners was freshman Elizabeth Barrett. Elizabeth had been nursing a sore hamstring all week, so we had Kirsty Biddle running practices as an alternate, just in case Elizabeth could not run today. Elizabeth felt well enough to run and clocked a 22:19, which was her third best time of the season. This girls' team in past years would have easily qualified for state finals with these times. It is a testament to the extremely high quality of runners in our division that they missed the cut this year. As a further example of the quality of our region, the Carroll girls, who won this regional, came in third in the state the following week. Juniors Carly Hammond and Emily Sievert and a number of coaches, teammates, and parents made the trip down to Michigan International Speedway to watch Emily and Carly compete in the Division III state cross-country meet. This was not the first time that we had shared this honor with the Sieverts. Since the last time the girls' team qualified and ran at state, their daughter Caitlin and our daughter Bethany were both on that team. It seems that the Sieverts have made a habit of attending the state finals at MIS. This was Carly's third trip to the state finals and her best finish in the 3 years, as she finished in 93rd place out of 244 state-level runners, clocking a 20:22 time for the 3.1-mile race. Continuing the Sievert family tradition, this was Emily's first trip to run in the finals, and she finished right behind Carly in the 95th position with a 20:23 time. Runners finishing in the top half at state finals and having a GPA of 3.5 or better qualify for academic all-state honors. Both Carly and Emily qualified this year. Ironically, Carly had met these qualifications as a freshman, but was denied the honors because freshmen are not eligible. As is our tradition after the state finals, we stop at Mongolian Barbecue on the way home. As we were finishing our meals, the Carroll team was walking up to the restaurant. The Carroll girls team finished in third place in the state finals. It seemed fitting that we should show our appreciation for the effort it takes to play so well at state. When Coach Schneider mentioned this to the team, they, without hesitation, stood up and waited for the Carroll team to enter. Our team understood their accomplishment and gave them a standing ovation as they came through the door. I'm sure they will return the favor next year.